In this episode, we're going to take a look at one slippery snake that is known to patrol the swamps around Cobra Island in his souped-up fan boat. That's right, Copperhead. So, stick around. Hello, fellow dorks and dorkettes, and welcome to It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room. My name is Rob, and in this episode, we will be looking at the super new G.I. Joe Classified Copperhead figure. This is one I am super excited for. I have always been a fan of Copperhead, and I always wanted the water moccasin as a kid, and it wasn't until recently that I was able to get one, and it made me feel like a kid all over again, getting a chance to play with it. So I can't wait to take a look at him, and it looks like they did a great job in reproducing that original Copperhead look. So, without further ado, let's head over here and take a look at Copperhead.
Yo, Joe!
Okay, folks, here we go. Copperhead, or more specifically, Cobra Copperhead, to get around those sticky copyright situations. Anyway, as we can see, this is the new packaging that I absolutely adore, that has the figure front and center and a piece of G.I. Joe history here in the background. See, we see the temple that was from the second G.I. Joe miniseries, I believe, where they fought that four-armed stone monster dude and the Cobra robot that I wish they would make one day. But we have his accessories here and awesome character portrait here. This is, I would have loved if they blew this up for the whole package, because he looks like an absolute psychopath and I love it. So let me bring it up a little bit closer, but look at that. He looks straight up savage, and I love it. And we can see that on his helmet, that is, like an oxygen tank thing. I don't ever remember seeing that detail in the past, so either it was probably something on paper that they weren't able to mold back in the day, or it's something new. But either way, I think that's pretty awesome. So we'll flip it around. Stupid code for the fake file cards. We have a picture of the figure, his height, and all of the cool gear he comes with. And here we go. A nice close-up. Him with his machete, looking all crazy, hunting people down in the swamp. Oh, and he is number 72. So he comes right after Rock and Roll. So, yeah, we can only look at a package for so long. So let's dig in and take a look at the figure itself. Okay, here is Copperhead in all his glory. Freed from his restraints, he is ready to cause trouble, to go after whatever Joe comes into his precious swamp. So we will take a look at the figure in close-up in a second, but right now let's take a look at the accessories. We have a holster for this like 357 with scope, which reminds me so much of the John Candy movie Armed and Dangerous, where he had a gun just like this and he said it was used for hunting buffalo. I doubt that's a true fact, but pretty interesting. We also have a machete, which you kind of need to get through the swamps. And we have this like Luger that he has as a just normal sidearm with the holster right here. So I'm going to point out one thing that I don't like right off the bat, and it's even here. So we'll see how well it works in practical senses, but the thing I don't like is the holsters have this tie down thing And if you remember how much trouble I had with the Hasbro Indiana Jones figure, I am not very optimistic about it. I hope I am proven wrong, but I'm bracing for the worst. So here we go. Like I said, really good detailing with this respirator oxygen tank here. But I wish he would have like a little tank or something on his back, maybe. Or maybe he plugs into the water moccasin. I don't know. This belt buckle is awesome. I love that. It looks like tendrils coming out of a skull. Super awesome. He has a silver logo here hidden beneath his shoulder holster that I wish they would have included a little, Walter PPK or whatever, little pistol to go in there. I know, I'm completely illiterate when it comes to firearms, so bear with me with my wrongness. But the thing I love the most about him and the original is the color scheme. Now mind you, these are a little bit more of muted colors from the original, but very close to it. And you have these awesome like paddings here that is pretty much like the original. And I don't think I've ever noticed, because it's not black on the original, but it's like he's wearing trunks over his uniform. Maybe he's a fan of Batman or Superman. Very steely look. Looks like an unlockable character from Mortal Kombat or something. But as far as the figure goes, I mean, pretty spot on. He's got this tattoo here. Ace of Spades. With like a Grim Reaper holding a dagger in its teeth. I can't read what that says in the camera. Let's see how close I can get here. Can't miss. Oh, and the card's cut in half. Interesting. And I'm sorry, it's not Grim Reaper, it's the spade that makes it look like a Grim Reaper. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Anyway, let's get him in his gear and a couple poses and just have fun. So, see you in a second. Well, it looks like there was an uninvited guest hanging out in the water moccasin. So, Copperhead snatches up this boa constrictor, and he doesn't know yet if he wants to make friends with it or make it into dinner. I have to say, the joints are very, very tight on him. Probably the tightest I have encountered in any classified figure, honestly. I mean, it wasn't like I felt like I was going to break him or anything. Well, his left arm kind of felt that way, but I think now that he's been moved around a bit, he'll be a little bit better. We'll have to see in a few moments with our next pose, but I can say happily that the strap on his holster, both holsters, has stayed down so far. So that's a lot more than I got out of the Indy figure, which didn't want to snap it all right out of the package. So happy about that. So anyway, let's put Copperhead in another precarious situation and see what happens. Here he is, double fisting his pistols, and it looks pretty good. I think the only reason, in my opinion, it doesn't look like the pistols are straightforward. I mean, for one thing, it's his arms, but it's this camera, just how it kind of pans things. I might have to mess with the settings. But anyway, yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. He looks pretty tough, and I would definitely not take him on. I mean, It looks like he's either getting ready to defend Cobra Island or rob a bank, which is fitting either way. So, yeah, I think that's an awesome pose. And, I mean, look at that. You see the tattoo. You see all of his great details and his helmet and everything. And, I mean, his two awesome sidearms. You know what's cool, too? I mean, even though it's a 357, but with that big scope, for some reason it just reminds me of Megatron, but that's probably just me. Anyway, let's check out another pose with Copperhead. Pulling out his machete and looking for some payback, Copperhead just grits his teeth under his face mask and says, "I hate when he uses that damn shrink ray." After confronting Dr. Mindbender about the mishap with the shrink ray, Dr. Mindbender wanted to make it up to Copperhead, so he gave him a little clone to play with. So here we have the original Copperhead with the new and improved 2023 classified Copperhead. As you can see, the colors are a lot more vivid on the original figure. Like I said, the newer version, they're very muted, but they're still there. You have all the same detailing on the helmet, which now, paying really close attention, he does have that respirator. It's just not colored properly on the original figure. They both have the silver Cobra logo on their chest. And I was thinking it might have been a detail that I missed about the skull belt buckle, but I don't see that he has that on the original. So that was something they added, and it's pretty cool. And you can see he still has the same shoulder holster, just it's kind of threaded into his tank top, which is weird in the original. But yeah, got that the same. The belt's pretty much the same. Has the pistol on the leg, except it's a little bit lower on the original. He has those wrestler armbands, except they're in a green on the original and black on the new one. I would have dug it being in the green, but it's pretty cool. And the only problem I had, like I said, were the tight joints, and those armbands kept slipping down. Other than that, it's a solid figure. I mean, I would have liked it to maybe have some different accessories, but the stuff he came with was pretty cool. And the only reason I say that is because the 25th anniversary version came with like an M16 with an M203 underneath, which, yeah, that's a pretty cool gun. Always loved it since Predator. But anyway, here we have father and clone son getting ready to head out into the swamp and have some fun fishing at the old fishing hole, catching some raccoons, making some stew, all that good stuff. Anyway, we're going to leave it there with this heartwarming moment. So I hope you enjoyed this figure review of G.I. Joe Classified Copperhead. So anyway, if you did enjoy this episode, please give me a thumbs up. If you got something to say, please leave a comment. I love reading them and I love getting back to everybody. And if you're new around here and you enjoyed this or any of the episodes that YouTube is recommending, please hit subscribe. And if you hit that little bell icon, you will be notified whenever there's a new episode. So anyway, until next time, thanks for watching. Keep being rad and stay dorky.